bed at 11 every night, and don't fill your head up with things you don't understand.
I was telling George.
I always like hearing that one.
Have you ever done an Irish stew?
Well, not exactly, no, but it's very easy. You just put in anything you want. See, it's a grand way of using up all the odds and ends. Bit of bacon, vegetables, eggs, tinned salmon.
In fact, anything that comes to hand.
Something seemed to disagree with Harris that evening. Perhaps it was being on an island, or not being used to the high living which upset him. For myself, well, I don't know when I've ever enjoyed a meal more.
Jolly good. A bit rich. So give me a bit of a tippy Johnny.
Who's for a drink and a stroll?
How about you, Harris?
Harris said he'd row us over and stay behind on the island to settle his stomach, as he put it, with a toddy or two.
Might have a little drink, settle my stomach.
You won't fall asleep, will you? And so George and I went for a mooch around.
Must tell Harris we saw a church.
And a pub.
Very nice pub.
It was the best. The finest. I mean, in all my years of visiting pubs, in my entire experience of bending the elbow...
He's a card, Harris. Harris! Harris!
It had been arranged that we were to shout when we returned, and Harris would come over from the island to fetch us.
Harris! Harris! Do you remember which island it was?
Well, they all look the same, don't they?
Well, how many are there? I mean, do you know?
Well, only about 4. He'll be all right if he's awake.
Harris! 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 Harris!
What do you think the dog would hear?
Harris! 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 Monty! Right, that's it. I'm going to stay exactly like this until the morning. I don't know where we are. I don't know where Harris is. I'm going to die anyway. I'm not going to move anymore.
Hang on. What was that?
Harris?
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 Harris!
What's the matter?
He's asleep.
What happened to you?
Swans.
Swans?
I had to fight them off. There are 8 of them, all around me.
How many?
Terrible battle. Fighting 14 swans.
How many?
18. Fought them for 3 hours with the oar. Can you imagine it? Fighting 32 swans?
You said 18 just now.
No, I didn't. I said 12. Think I can't count?
What shall we have for breakfast?
Something plain. Very, very, very plain.
What was all that last night about swans?
What swans?
Never mind.
dear. You two take the sculls. It's about time you and Jay did a bit of work for a change.
Fancy George talking about work.
Have you ever seen him work?
Certainly not on this trip.
I don't see how you'd know. You're asleep half the time. You never seen Harris fully awake except at mealtime.
Honesty compels me to say no. Well, I've done more work than you.
Could hardly have done less.
Oh, Jay thinks he's the passenger.
So, that's your gratitude to me for bringing you and your wretched boat all the way up from Kingston and supervising everything and slaving away over you. Well, it's no more than I expected.
Supervisor.
Oh,
very nice.
Journey.
Thank you, Headmaster, very much for coming on the trip. That was extremely kind of you to come and look after us. You get out of the way.
It's about time I had
And
a
Joe,
go.
you see,
I'm putting the banjo and it's probably
something we need.
Don't be ashamed. Get it.
It was finally agreed that Harris and George would scull up past Reading, and I would take the boat from there. We were evidently becoming old river hands.
All this hard work, why only last season